Recording in progress.
All right, welcome to the Thursday, January 4th regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission. We'll do roll call. Let the record show Commissioner Laux is joining us by Zoom, although he will be joining us in person later on this morning. And Commissioners Cobb and Goldhahn are present. Vice President Boyle-Roloff is excused, and Commissioner Dorf is ill. So we do have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Those were in the pre-read packet that came out from Haley. If there are no questions or changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Approved by Commissioner Cobb, seconded by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, I guess I forgot to ask for an approval of the agenda. So first, ask for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Cobb, seconded by Commissioner Laux. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Reports. So I will not give a report today, so we'll start with Chief Knott.
All right, good afternoon. Just kind of closing out this year, we did post some information on social media, so that's out there as like a year-end report. Just a quick little snippet of that. There'll be a more formal document that we posted and distributed, so make sure you have that once that's issued. Our call volume actually has gone down slightly last year. We've done a couple of different things, and we're really going to analyze. We're trying to reduce the number of needless calls and really work hard to improve the quality of services we provide. And we do expect to see some reductions of calls. You know, like I said, we have a little work to do to analyze the data and see if it's just a fluke. But normally we see a traditional 3 to 5% increase of call volume every year. This year we saw a decrease, so it's kind of interesting. And like I said, more to come on that. We've also had busy, and you've certainly been busy with us. We've hired 24 individuals this year, and all of them are really working out well, so it's good. In 2024, this year, we anticipate additional hiring for an academy start of April 1st. We currently have 2 individuals on our eligibility list, and our current applications sit at 43. Of those, some individuals don't have all the criteria that we've required, so we're working through those, and we do anticipate a pretty healthy list to interview. Right now, our current openings are approximately estimated like 3 to 4 individuals, and we're working hard to try and narrow that down. And then we've had some success with council to offer overhires too in anticipation of retirements. So we're going to work through and try and see if we have some additional retirees that are additional individuals that are planning to retire before the end of the recruit class or towards summer, so we can maintain our full staffing levels throughout the summer months. So, and again, that's our report. Do you have any questions or anything?
You said there were a couple of things that you did that you think may have played a role. What were
Yeah,
they?
and I think the big thing that we're doing is outreach and education. We had a really aggressive outreach program this year. We did almost 413 outreach events, impacting thousands of people, and really looking at different ways of how we respond and providing proper education and proactive responses instead. So we did a lot of outreach in large areas and large complexes where we traditionally had numerous calls, and worked hard on some fire prevention activities and EMS prevention activities. And so, like I said, I don't know if it's just a fluke, but statistically and historically, we've seen significant increases annually, and this year we saw a decrease. So we'll continue to look at the numbers, and hopefully within the next month or so, we'll have a really good handle on what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
You ever think about talking to NeighborWorks about their rental portfolio and possibly working on some of those apartment
Sure,
complexes?
we would be glad to. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Perfect.
Good.
Chief, how about holiday fire results come out this year?
We actually, one is too many, right? But we had 6 residential fires this year. We did that, our Keep the Wreath Green campaign, where we try and keep and we put a red bulb in for every fire. So we had 6 fires this year during the holiday season. Again, one's way too many. We work hard to prevent those incidents from occurring in the first place. But unfortunately, some still do occur, and we were able to keep the damages as minimal as possible.
But 6 is less than typical.
6 is historically less than
Yeah.
what we've seen too, so, like I said, we hope to see this trend continue, of reduced calls for service and, you know, allows us to act, our goal is to really look more prevention-based, and, you know, we could focus the same amount of resources, or actually, you know, historically, we go less resources to focus on a more proactive, prevention-based response than that reactive or response-based response. So, you know, like I said, a lot of work to go. You know, we have approved positions. They're not funded for a mobile integrated healthcare. This is a community paramedic program. So we're working on some grant funding, and I think we found some outlets for that. We're partnering with some local hospitals and also managed healthcare organizations, and we'll look to start a community paramedic, which is 100% focused on that prevention aspect. So it's proactive responses to address high-risk individuals and reduce the need for our services, and then need for hospital-based services, but also provide a healthier environment for those individuals. So that has historically around the country proven very successful. We look to replicate that data here.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Commander?
Thank you. Chief Davis sends his regards. He's off this week. But really just hope each and one of you had a good New Year and a good holiday. From the police department, we're at 178 officers. Compliments to Captain Allen and Rick Bellinger here and the staff behind me for just continually hiring. They've got a lot of people in the pipeline that you'll see here coming here this month with the 5 today and more in February. We are seeing a huge turnover in the police department. Craig Pakla is retiring tomorrow at 7 o'clock if you want to stop by the PD and send him off. Brad Biller and Kelly Molitor at the end of December. Sue Petty on the 29th. Sue is a staple for us at the department, and all of them we're going to miss dearly. And we've got some upcoming retirements in the next coming years, or a couple months. So a lot of turnover, a lot of change. But compliments to everybody here working to get all these people hired. Jen, Haley, everybody. So professional staff and officers, we're working hard. We're about the halfway through our advanced academy where the officers, you know, once they get hired, they go through some on-the-job training in the department before they're in a squad car. So we're about halfway through that they're doing well there. We've got a lot of promotions coming up with the turnover. There's a ripple effect. So far, as of today's date, we've got 10 applicants for sergeant, 5 applicants for lieutenant. I didn't get the number for captains and commanders. Chief's got those numbers. He's out this week, but Chief Davis just asked that if you are interested in being part of the panels for those promotional processes, that to reach out to him because there is some reading material that each of the candidates are required to read and report out during those interviews. So please, if you're interested, follow up with Chief. He said those interviews are either going to be the week of the 15th or the 22nd at the department. The other thing here, you know, from crime, the numbers haven't come in yet. We haven't tallied the year-end numbers for the department. Michelle, I just got an email from Michelle that she's still working on those. But I can tell you that, gun violence is, probably average of where we're at. But I really want to give a plug in for the OVP, the Office of Violence Prevention. A lot of great work that the department is doing with the mayor's office and Mayor Ganrick's direction and with Chief's direction of the OVP to try to really build and sustain the OVP for many years to come. There's a lot of groundwork being laid, trying to figure out what the right model is with the technical analysis that we partnered with. And we're using the pilot project here with all the stolen cars, the high amount of stolen Kias and Hondas in the city is really alarming. And we're trying to figure out using the platform of the OVP, similar to a gun violence reduction strategy. We're trying to use that model of call-ins, identifying people with associates, working with the school district, other community-based organizations to really have a collective approach here to solve this problem that we are working with, our priority being gun violence, and using the stolen autos as kind of a pilot project going forward. So more to come on that, but it is very encouraging to see.
Just a couple of things. I really appreciate when there is gun violence in this community, the intentionality that you all have around ensuring the public that they're safe, because I think people outside of the circle of law enforcement or adjacent to it don't understand that the majority of crime is not random.
Right.
It is people committing crimes against people that they know. And so that's just a personal side. I really appreciate that. The Kia is being stolen. Have you all checked out what Milwaukee's doing? I feel like Milwaukee has found some grant dollars that give them the ability to issue clubs to citizens in the community.
So yes, we are doing that. We held one event, I believe it was in November or December, where it was in Light Park, where we partnered with Bergstrom, I believe, or Broadway, to do the update. And then, in the same token, we applied for grant funding through the Brown County Crime Prevention Funding Bill. That's the surcharge that's collected on every misdemeanor and felony that the county clerk collects.
Yeah.
So we received grant dollars for that,
Awesome.
to buy the clubs, and we gave out all the clubs that we have, or at least most of them, and we're working with the OVP, because now we're transitioning that as the pilot project for the stolen autos through the OVP, so the director and the data officer can take that over with another event scheduled sometime in the spring.
And I think that OVP work is going to be successful because of whoever's idea it was to add Andrea to that. Like, having street in that role is one thing, but the other piece with the data and research behind it will legitimize that for people who may be adverse to that kind of approach to things. So I appreciate that as well.
It's very encouraging to see, because Andrea, the data officer's position, is taking the public health approach and applying it to crime. And when you look at that, it's very alarming to see root causes, and then the solutions, the strategies, and a comparison of what other cities are doing, and then trying to make it what Green Bay proper is, what's good for us.
Her intelligence is intimidating.
Oh, she is
She
brilliant.
knows her stuff, yeah.
On the Kia and Hyundai thefts, are you finding it's people doing it to strip them or to resell them, or it's
No.
people that go online and say, oh, yeah, I'm gonna try this?
It's
Joyriding.
Joyriding.
Just do it for fun,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it's joyriding.
Had
Um,
30,000 stolen in Milwaukee last year.
Yeah.
That's reported stolen last year.
And I would say we're probably between 150 and 170. And that's stolen. There's the complaints where the steering column was broke, or the damage to the window was done, but it wasn't stolen. It's a huge problem, and as the department, we're working, we've got detectives assigned to it, we're processing cars. I mean, it's a lot of work, and we're trying to catch the people responsible for it. And I think we've, with the work of the OVP, I think we've identified, and our crime analysts, they gotta give a shout out to them, but we've identified, a large group of people. Sometimes it's not what you know, but what you can prove, right? So we're working to figure that out and hold these people accountable for these actions.
Any other questions? John, any questions? All right.
Good, I understood most of that.
Well, gentlemen, the rest of it is interviews and hiring, so
Thank you.
appreciate it. Next items are consideration of possible action on the following communications, the budget status report. So, year closing, fire ended up 1141 out of a budget of 5,000, so well under. PD spent 6204, and we talked before about the issue with the money not being set in the budget for that, but there were ARPA funds available to cover that. So we'll start out next year with the new ones. So along with that was the budget spreadsheet. So if there are no questions on either of that, I'll entertain a motion to receive those and file them.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Cobb, seconded by Commissioner Lau.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
And consideration with possible action on the request to approve the monthly bills. There were no bills, so there's nothing to approve. So then that brings us to items 3 and 4. Those are both closed session items, so I will read the closed session verbiage for both of those. We'll take one vote to go into closed session, and then we'll cover both of those. Coming out of closed session, I'll give separate reports for items 3 and 4. So item 3 is consideration with possible action on the review of patrol officer candidate backgrounds. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.8, 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 2 Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. And item 4 is interviews with patrol officer candidates. Please take note that pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes, the commission may convene in closed session for the purpose of interviewing, evaluating, and considering employment of patrol officer candidates. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
We have a motion to go into closed session.
Motion by Commissioner Cobb, second by
Second.
Commissioner Laux. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're in closed session.
Unless they want to be-
Open session, while in closed session, we completed items F 3 and 4 of the agenda. Item 3 dealt with reviewing background of candidates. We reviewed 4 backgrounds and chose to continue each of those 4 onto the interview process. Item 4 is interviews with patrol officer candidates. We interviewed 4 candidates and chose to continue each of those 4 in the hiring process. I'll ask for a motion to confirm that report.
Motion to confirm.
Motion by Commissioner Laux.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cobb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's the last item on the agenda, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Recording stopped.